quantity versus quality. We obviously live in a world where, I remember back in 2011, 2012-ish, oh, Edgar, you need to watch this show, you need to watch this other show, and they were coming out of my ears. I did try to keep up slightly like on the front end of the whole streaming revolution. And then not only do you have an explosion of content on just Netflix, but you also had an explosion of platforms and an explosion of content on each one of those segmented platforms. And so
Amazon, actually, Amazon Prime.
Even more on Amazon Prime?
No, I don't. I think my only film on Netflix is A Nightmare in Las Cruces. The rest is on Amazon Prime.
Oh, okay. So you're talking about in your case.
Oh,
so
yeah, I thought you were just talking about. Yeah, I thought you were talking about my film. Do you want to start this over?
No. So let's go ahead and keep on going, because I mean, it obviously has, you obviously are the living embodiment of the fact that it's not just about the quality. Yes, quality needs to be there. It doesn't mean that we, as content creators, should put out crap. But at the same time, I've had this, not an argument, I've had a debate with so many other filmmakers here and there, certain ones that say, well, you can't do too much, because you don't want to outdo yourself, or you don't want to burn yourself out, or what. But here's the fact of the matter, Charlie. We do live in a world where the quality needs to be there, but it's also about quantity. I mean, we live in a world where, look at how we're consuming content. Geez, it's in like the consumption need is so insane. You with 30 documentaries in 10 years ish are,
yep.
You get that, you understand that. So go ahead and jump in with regards to quality versus quantity, Charlie.
Well, at the end, it depends on the filmmaker. Woody Allen makes one movie a year. Some other directors, they'll work on one movie for 3 years, 4 years, from the original concept all the way through the screenplay, to casting, and that could take years. As an independent documentarian, I just pump them out quickly. The formula I've developed on my own. I use usually the same crew. That always helps, because they understand you, you understand them. You could finish each other's sentence. So I finish a documentary once every 4 months. Mm-hmm. So that equates to 3 a year. Over 10 years, that would put it at 30. So right now I'm at documentary 31 or 32. I'm actually losing track. I don't even know what it is now. So my goal is to hit 50 and then possibly retire at 50. I think 50 is a good round number. So I have plenty of energy, plenty of ideas.
Yeah.
And what's good about having so much volume and quantity, like you mentioned, is that because I have 20 films on Amazon Prime, you can't expect all 20 to be performing well. If one starts to fade a little bit for whatever the reason, well, you may have another film that's red hot and is doing very, very well. So I have 20 films firing on all cylinders at the same time. And streaming video really came into my life around 2016, and it really changed everything.
Yeah.
Amazon Prime is a big time player. After Netflix, Amazon Prime is probably second in terms of streaming movies. So every
Charlie,
time
what were those? Sorry to cut you off, bro, but what were those first 6 years like before streaming came into play, while you were 6 years deep already? And then what were the past 4 years, or the past 4, been like since? Because I can imagine that maybe we're talking about, old school days where we're talking DVD prints and getting the physical prints into certain stores and whatnot. So give us, just kind of give us an idea of what was life like before and after 2016 for you.
Well, from a revenue standpoint, it's not comparable. The last 4 years really has been lucrative. The first 5 or 6 years, I really had to rely on the box office and DVD sales, because there was no streaming for me. I think Amazon really came into play. I'm thinking 2014 or 15. I may be wrong. Mm-hmm. I didn't get on it right away. I was able to find a couple of companies that are aggregators that are able to link my films to not just Amazon, but there's a lot of streaming services now. So people have a lot of options. So your movies could be earning revenue every which way on streaming. I mean, streaming has absolutely exploded. Yeah. But back in the day, I had to totally rely on the box office, and that's scary, because when you throw an independent documentary into a Harkins movie theater in Tucson,
Yeah.
I mean, you're dealing with studio films. You're going up against studio actors, studio directors. Those movies have been marketed very well. And then here you are, the little guy, the independent documentarian, releasing a movie in Tucson about Chapo Guzman.
Yeah.
So at that point, I had to rely on KOLD, KVOA,
Mhm.
the Arizona Republic, the Tucson newspapers, NPR, things like that to get the word spread throughout Arizona, throughout Tucson, throughout Pima County, where studio films, they don't have to do that. It'll just market itself.
Mhm.
So the box office was everything. And I got lucky in the beginning. My two of my films did very, very well at the box office. I made it look easy, and to be quite frankly, I thought it was easy. And then
Yeah.
you learn quickly that not every movie does that well. So you have to kind of go from movie to movie. We talked before the show how, I mean, Oliver Stone, he's the reason why he became a filmmaker, three-time
Yeah.
Oscar winner, but he's had some clunkers along the way.
Yeah.
I mean, not every movie has been Platoon, Wall Street, JFK. Nixon was a flop. Heaven and Earth was a real flop for him.
Yeah.
So you got to be careful. Just because you're successful in one movie doesn't mean your next one is automatically going to be a hit. You have to keep working hard.
In those days, Charlie, when you relied heavily upon theatrical release, I'm pretty sure you also had to rely heavily upon the sales of physical DVDs and in maybe certain outlets like Walmart. Or
Yeah,
in
well,
other words, I guess what I'm asking is, did were DVD sales a major part of your equation pre 2016?
yes, yes, but I had a website where you could order the DVDs,
Hmm.
but now most of my DVD sales come from table setups at theaters. Now,
Really?
El Paso is a pretty, it's a smaller market. It's obviously not Dallas, Houston, or New York, LA. And in El Paso, it's kind of like Tucson,
Yeah.
about 500,000 people. You have a big Division 1A, college right there in the city, and everyone kind of knows everyone,
Yeah.
and that could be good. That could be good and bad. I mean, everyone's in each other's business,
Yeah.
and if you're in the public eye, people will know you very quickly. And I've always said, when you throw yourself in the public sphere, um, people are either going to like you or not like you. Period.
Yeah.
And but I was able to sell a lot of DVDs in El Paso because, again, if you're in the public eye in a city that size, people get to know who you are very quickly. It's scary now, especially with social media. I mean, it's you could become an overnight hit, or it could work the other way too. So you got to be smart about it. A little luck doesn't hurt.
Yeah.
So I was relentless. I was persistent. I think that's the key, is that stick to itiveness that you need as an artist, whether you're a filmmaker or an actor. Resiliency is one of my favorite words. I love people that will look at you in the eye and go, let's go 15 rounds.
Yeah.
I'll be there. I'm there. So sometimes you don't necessarily have to be more talented than someone. You just have to outlast them.
Yeah. Yeah. That's very true. I think Will Smith said, if you and I get on a treadmill, one of two things is going to happen first. Either you're going to get off first or I'm going to die first. And that just is a demonstration of, obviously, metaphorically, but it's a demonstration um, of his ability to basically outlast the other guy. And that, maybe that person might be more handsome or more talented or whatnot, but they will not outlast Will Smith. And so he said that in an interview, and that's always stuck with me. Talk to me about what happened in 2016 when aggregators came into your life and what it's been like now. Because from did I hear correctly that you said ever since streaming came into play that it's been a little bit more lucrative for you?
Yeah, a lot more. I mean, Amazon, they've been the main source. And I mean, all of a sudden, first day of every month, you get a direct deposit. And to be honest, it's kind of shocking, um, how powerful streaming video is, and if you do it right, how it could change your life.
Awesome. And so aggregators is definitely a thing I want to hit on, but we'll talk about that for a future episode right now, or in a future segment in a few minutes later on down the line. So 2016 comes around, aggregators come into your life, mainly Amazon, and And so now basically what does life look like for you, and what does life look like in, in the next 5 or 10 years in your point of view from what you're seeing?
Well, if it's not broken, don't try to fix it. If it works, keep doing it. Um, Try to progress even deeper. Try to get even higher quality of the movies. I think I'm taking more creative chances. I see the other side of the equation more just through experience. The field has become very instinctive for me. You can
Mhm.
just feel things when you're on a set, whether you think you're having a good interview or not with the interviewee. Just little things that you pick up on. It's kind of like a hockey player. You go out onto the ice, and good hockey players, they just know where to go. You know,
Yeah,
the puck finds them. They don't necessarily have to hustle the puck. The puck will come to them because they're in the right position.
yeah,
And I think being an artist, you have to, I think, pick up those instincts on exactly how to go about it, who to talk to. Um, when I talk to film students, I tell them you have to really be smart about this because it's so tough.
yeah,
When you email somebody, you have to know how to construct a professional email. You have to know what to say, how to say it. Just little things like that can make a big difference at the end. I always tell future filmmakers it's always the
yeah,
small details, and it adds up at the end. You have to chip away, chip away, chip away, and you keep chipping away, and at the end, it becomes this huge thing.
yeah,
So you just have to keep at it. But yeah, for me, getting to work on streaming video, just tremendous because before that, just to give you an example, I did a movie called Eight Murders a Day, which was about Ciudad Juarez's violence
mhm,
in 2010. They averaged 8 murders a day. It's a city that borders El Paso,
yeah.
and I took that movie to 30 U.S. cities.
Wow.
So think about it. I mean, that's I have to market the film in 30 different cities, contact all the news reporters, all the newspapers, go into that city, not know anybody, find a hotel. I mean, the planning was just immense. So to
Wow.
do that across 30 cities, Es El Chapo, a movie about Chapo Guzman that played in Tucson, I took that to 20 U.S. cities. Those days are over now. I don't go from city to city to city anymore like I used to.
Yeah,
So, the plan and the model has changed because of streaming video. And I almost feel as if that was a reward for all the hard work that I did for the first 6 years. And then from 2016 up until the point now where I'm talking to you, things have changed.
yeah, yeah. And I would say, I would argue that, like, in I guess, like, for example, when my wife sits down, right, and we're surfing on Netflix for something to watch, or maybe it's HBO Go, there's a lot of stuff out there. So that's kind of the positive, is that, like, the variety of things out there, and the quantity of, even the series out there is just so vast that there's you can't not find something. You're gonna find something to watch. Um, when streaming came along and revolutionized this, um, did it do something to you, to the effect of, get you to say, like, oh, okay, maybe I can slow down a little bit more? Or did it get you to say, you know what, now I need to pick up the pace and go even faster with the revolution of streaming that is literally in everyone's living room?
I would say for me, same pace,
Hmm.
3 documentaries a year. That's
Okay.
really been what I average. So I'm just going to keep doing it. I mean, I have so much energy right now. I think people have to realize that you're only young once.
Yeah.
Oliver Stone said, you got to go for it in life, especially when you're young, because you're never going to have this much energy. I mean, let's
Sure.
face it, we all slow down
Yeah.
over the years. We slow down, people burn out. My energy is extreme. I think it's also very important on the side for filmmakers and actors to stay fit.
Yeah.
Run on that treadmill, run outside. It's so important to get your exercise so that you have the energy for your career. You don't want to start gaining weight and get out of shape, and then you get tired easily, and you don't inspire people around you.
Yeah.
It's really important. I mean, that's just again, I talk about the small things in life. When I meet a potential investor, I want to shake their hand tight, in a very tight grip, and look at them in the eye, and I want to be in good shape in a suit, and let
Yeah.
them know that I'm here to bring it. I'm serious.
Yeah.
So like little things. So I think energy is so important. I wake up ready to go, and I'm like you, Edgar. I'm a night owl. New Yorkers
Mhm.
tend to be nocturnal, and I guess some of my some of my best work done in the wee hours of the morning while people are sleeping. So, but I think it's important to throw the kitchen sink at your career
Yeah.
when you're able to do it. When you're younger, I would say 30s, 40s, even 50s, you're in your prime. You gotta unload. You gotta empty the tank.
Yeah.
You just gotta empty it, and because when you get older, you won't have that energy.
One of the things that one of my major mentors, and you let me know if you've heard of him or not. He's actually in your neck of the woods, Mr. Gary Vaynerchuk. Um, you heard of Gary Vaynerchuk?
No.
No, Gary Vaynerchuk. He's quite the character with regards to entrepreneurship meets social media meets hustle. That whole world, right? And so he's a very specific mixture, but his big thing is harnessing media and the power of media, of how easy it is to, basically take any cell phone and make a movie or make something. But his whole thing is it's easier to document, don't create. So what that means is basically when you create something Hollywood style, right? You got the lights and then the acting, the rehearsing and special effects. So that's like a bigger production, takes more money, time, energy, effort, etc., right? And then he, on the other hand, says, don't do that, document, don't create. So what does that mean? That means if you have some thoughts that you want to share with regards to filmmaking, or some thoughts that you want to share with regards to, hey, how's your favorite sports team doing this year and whatnot. We all literally have the power of micro TV studios, as I like to call them, right here in the palms of our hands. And so, I mean, even as we're doing this interview, Charlie, you're literally on one side of the country and I'm in the Southwest. But I mean, um, I think it does, like you use the term, you crack the safe, and I think, and also you mentioned that you have found that instinctual rhythm. I think i think it's amazing that you like, that you basically harness the power of the documentary form, and you put it on nitro, and you put a few sticks of dynamite on it, and you're not just going 100 miles per hour. But from what I've always seen, from the time that I've known you, Charlie, and have followed your career for the short time that I have, you're going at like 150 miles per hour all the time. And so I think that's very admirable, to be going that fast and to be that productive, and to basically do what you love at that pace and at that speed. So I just had to say that.
Yeah, well, I think it all started way earlier in my life. I remember my pattern has shown. I look at one thing and I just try to nail it. So you're a master of one, and what's that
Yeah,
saying? You're mediocre in everything else. But
yeah, yeah. If
I
you're a
think
jack of all trades, you're a master of none.
there you go. You said it a lot better than I did.
Yeah,
But I remember growing up when I was in high school, all I did for sports was play ice hockey goalie. That's
yeah,
all I did. I wanted to be an ice hockey NHL goaltender. And my friend kept saying, "Hey, let's play basketball. Let's play baseball. Let's do this." And he finally gave up on me because I was so serious about one thing. And he finally said to me, "Charlie, I give up. But I'll tell you this." He said, I'll never forget it. He goes, "If you're going to play one sport, kick ass in it." So here's my
mm-hmm,
point. I think in life, it's important to find that one thing.
mm-hmm,
I don't care what it is, the one thing that you're good at, if
yeah,
not great at, and absolutely nail it. And I tell people that I don't think I'm that well rounded. I'm not even sure if I could change a flat tire, but I can nail one thing in life, and that is I can make a true crime documentary, interview police, victims, family members. I just have that knack.
yeah,
Them sitting down with me because of my track record and doing it the right way, representing innocent people who have been murdered. So I encourage everyone out there, whatever that one thing is, find it, or it may find you, and absolutely nail it. And you could be a success just by being great at that one thing. Michael Jordan
yep,
became incredible because he can do one thing,
yep,
and he could put a basketball in a basket.
yep,
Okay. So whatever it is, it could be, I don't care. It could be juggling. It could be knitting. It could be magic. It could be filmmaking. It could be acting. It could be a mechanic. I don't care what it is. So find that one thing and absolutely nail it. So you become great at it. Someone's going to take note and you'll become successful at it.
And ironically, I think that serves you really, really well in today's world where these platforms, bro, it's about quantity. It's about quantity. And so, I think it's serving you very well. So, I mean, hopefully everyone who's watching this episode in particular can take that away, bro.